standardization been a big theme in the conversations I've been having around retail and other forms of verticalized media this week. And when I say that, I mean the need for it, because you have a fragmented marketplace or fragmented ecosystem that I think still makes it pretty challenging for buyers to be able to buy in a more seamless, straightforward way, measure holistically, all that stuff. So how do you guys kind of approach retailers to help them understand how they participate in the marketplace, why it's a good thing for them, what that looks like?
Yeah, it's a great question. So first of all, I think you hit on exactly the right framing for this. So I think a lot of the conversations around standardization, but I think it's always important to look at the root cause of the problem, which is, as you mentioned, fragmentation. And I have some issues with the term standardization that we can dive into a little later in this conversation, but let's just talk about the fragmented ecosystem, right? For an average brand, you have dozens, if not hundreds of retailers that you work with globally, and many of them are at various stages of the development of their retail media programs. I think if you've looked at how traditionally retail media has operated, began as very much retailer-driven managed service businesses. Brand would come, give a handful of money to the retailer would run it largely as they saw fit with some direction from the brand. Increasingly, that's involved in more and more retailers looking to build walled garden platforms. We support all of these as a company today, but I think what's really different about our approach to the ecosystem and what so many of our clients on the brand and agency side have been asking for is help solve for this fragmentation by doing a few things. One, provide simplified, consolidated workflows when I'm managing across retailers. Provide reporting that is apples to apples and gives me a common view of metrics, maybe not standardized, because I might want to look at metrics that are different than another brand, but a common view of how I look at metrics across apples. And then a consistent way to allocate budget across retailers, target across retailers, optimize across retailers, so I can go from having static pools of budget to something more dynamic that really reflects how consumers shop and how consumers want to be treated by brands.
So how do you convince the retailers that this is a good thing?
Largely, retailers are following the money, right? It's like all businesses, but that's a part of it. But also, a lot of it comes with education. I think if you think about it, what's so strange about retailers entering retail media is, for the entire existence of retailers and their relationship with brands, retailers have been the customer, right? The brand has been the company selling to the retailer. And as we always know, the customer is often, if not always, right. The big change that's happening with retail media is that dynamic is, if not flipping on its head, getting fuzzier, right? In the capacity of buying and selling goods, yes, the retailer very much remains the customer, the shopper remains the shopper. But as it pertains to the media environment, of course, now the brand is providing the money. The brand is that customer of the retailer in the advertising sense. And I think that shifting power dynamic has been a challenging one for many retailers and even brands to navigate. But I think as we see more and more people from the traditional digital and media space enter the retail space as they try to build these programs, as retailers learn from each other and begin to have deeper conversations with more than just shopper, trade, conventional marketing teams at brands and move into CMO level conversations, I think that education is really driving a shift in the industry and certainly something we see reflected in our own business.